Someone also contacted the author after 2 or 3 parts of this story were published and said that Paul Roux had even put a retired Philippine police officer in charge of distributing bribes to various police organizations. He would go on behalf of Paul Roux and pay everyone. We don't care. He later realized that his name had been used to register this AB Systems company and a series of other companies. And in 2010 and 2011, he had tried to remove his name from these companies, and then his situation had worsened. In 2011, he saw that his name had been used for Southern Ace, a company whose name appeared in a UN report for establishing a military force in Somalia and so on. He also contacted a lawyer, and his lawyer contacted some people in the US judicial system, and that also led nowhere. Several months later, someone from the FBI calls McGowan, and after a while, someone from the D calls him, and he starts giving them information. Another person close to Roux who talks to law enforcement officials is Lulu. First, he says that in late 2009, he contacted the Australian police and said, "Yes, I have some information about an Australian Zimbabwean citizen that I want to give you." And he said, "Yes, this person is in the Philippines and is involved in drug and arms trafficking and so on." He also gives the reason that he was afraid. Lulu's discomfort increases when he finds out that Paul Roux used the name of one of his close relatives to register one of the companies involved in arms and so on. At that point, he says, "I decided to go forward." An Australian police officer agrees to go to Johannesburg to meet Lulu. Lulu brings another acquaintance of his who also worked with Paul Roux and also wanted to talk to the meeting. The two of them give a lot of information. Then the Australian connects them to someone from the CIA. Lulu says, "We had several meetings with them, but they didn't seem very interested in the matter until something happened, and they suddenly became very interested." By early 2012, the D had already gathered its information about Paul Roux. In late 2011, Paul Roux was preparing the ground to go to Brazil. When Paul Roux first went to Brazil, the D thought they had lost the game forever. But later, it turned out that Brazilian law also gives the police an additional advantage that they didn't have elsewhere. The wiretapping project is going very well. They can clearly listen and see that he is arguing with his girlfriend, arguing with his wife in the Philippines. On April 30, 2012, they raided the office of one of these companies and arrested Shlomo.